Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Kris. This video was requested off of a video I just did today. This is like a part 2. This is visiting the grave of a Muslim Civil War soldier. No, that's not what I wanted to hit. Let's see. Click that thumbs up, subscribe to the old channel Ruski, and then you can hit the thanks button and the hype button. It's all optional. But let's get into the video.
The American Civil War, 600,000 killed, a brutal display of pure terror. Now what if I told you, in the middle of all this American carnage was a Muslim? From Afghanistan?
Among the Union soldiers who fought here in May of 1864 was a Muslim man, a recent immigrant from Afghanistan named Muhammad Khan.
K-A-H-N? Did they just turn him into a German? Now look, in this video we'll follow the life of Muhammad Khan, or what we know of it, take you to an actual battlefield he fought in, give you the best commentary in the process, and go visit his grave. Here's a montage of what is to come. I hope you are excited. Now, the journey is long, and I didn't feel like doing it myself, and I needed some expertise about Afghanistan, given Muhammad Khan was from there. So I decided to bring along our very happy Afghan brother who, for anonymity purposes, we will refer to as Rahim Shah, even though he's Pakistani. Now, I'll be honest, most of my research came from this PBS documentary, which revealed that we have over 200 pages of Muhammad Khan's life that we can actually find online. Only the first 8 pages are actually Muhammad Khan's words, the rest are statements from people who would have known him.
The details of Khan's eventful life are revealed bit by bit in his application for a pension, 200 pages long, recently discovered in the National Archives in Washington, D.C.
Now's probably a good time to also give credit to the sister on PBS who put everything together, and this top comment that inspired this whole video and perhaps future videos to come, even though we're not going to perform a janazah, controversial topic. But back to Muhammad Khan, who tells us how he came to America and immediately joined the Union Army.
I was born in Persia and raised in Afghanistan.
Whoa, what's with the whole Iranian accent? Our boy is an Iranian, right? Let's ask our Afghan expert what he thinks.
So you're saying he's Pashtun then, probably? I mean, Muhammad Khan, you know, like, it sounds a very Pathan name, like, Pashtun name.
Well, that's all the verification needed.
I came to this country in 1861 with an American officer. I couldn't speak one word of English at that time. About 2 or 2.5 months after my arrival, I enlisted at New Haven, Connecticut, having been persuaded to enlist while under the influence of liquor.
Astaghfirullah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We'll get back to this later.
Were recruiters using alcohol to recruit people?
Yes, and drugs.
Wow.
He was part of an all-white unit, the 43rd New York Infantry.
He knew how to be a soldier. He said he knew how to load and fire a musket and quickly was in the ranks marching and doing his duty.
Khan was a sharpshooter for the army. Our Afghan expert was itching to say something.
Sharpshooting is a skill that Pashtuns headed to. Like, I think there's a weapon, a gun called, like, not Jibril or something. It starts with J.
Jibril.
So, something like that, right?
Alright.
The gun is called Jazail.
What Pashtuns would do, right? They would just sit in a mountain, right? And then target their victim, I guess, usually in a valley, and shoot them, right? So that probably gave him some skills of, sharpshooting.
So after Khan joins this all-white unit, he ends up getting lost from his infantry unit, and when he tried to find them again with his broken English, well, this happened.
Khan found himself in nearby Hagerstown, where, based on his appearance, a group of Union soldiers mistook him for a runaway slave.
They thought he was a slave, a runaway slave.
Right.
So that was pretty funny.
Those Americans weren't too bright, by the way. Our boy told them his name is Muhammad Khan, and they were probably like, "What? Amahai John?" And that has been his name since.
No, my name is Muhammad Khan. They were like, "Your name's Ted Smith." All right, you're sorry. And he's like, "Nope, that's not my name at all." And they're like, "We'll meet in the middle." John Ama, I can't even pronounce it, and he just said it. So let me see, 61. So he's about 38 when the war broke out. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. Okay. I see. I'm wrong, but I just want to do the math here for a second. Okay. My initial thought was that the age was wrong because I was thinking 70, and I was like, "What? No." And then I had to go back. Oh, no, 68. Okay. And then once you question yourself, then you're like, "Oh, I'm just going to use a calculator." Okay. All right, back to the video.
Now, for whatever reason, Muhammad Khan really wanted to join back with his all-white unit.
Could have run away or really escaped at any time. He did stick around for some reason, and it may have been because he felt morally and ethically obligated to see it through.
So, after a few months, he hopped.
Stupid question. Isn't there something in the Quran that says, don't run away from your enemy? Like running away. You can retreat to another position. You can retreat, in an orderly fashion, if that's what it is. But you don't just turn and run. So maybe he felt that if I run, I would be going against what the Quran preaches. Or was it one of the surahs? I don't even remember now. Maybe he felt an obligation based on the religion telling him don't turn and run. Maybe he felt like he would have been a coward if he turned and ran. So he had to stick it out whether he lived or died. If the war ended and he's alive, hey, he's not a coward. He can't be frowned upon by God, we'll say. Maybe.
Hops on a train and rejoins his troops just in time for the Battle of Spotsylvania, where 30,000 people would be killed or injured. And this is actually where we are heading right now. But it was a long journey, and Rahim Shah and I had to keep each other entertained. And I have to entertain you as well. So, did you know Muhammad Khan brought his brand new wife over from Afghanistan 2 years after he came himself?
How would his young wife, at that time, in that culture especially, be able to travel from where she was, probably going to Europe on ship, and then from Europe to America, all on her own? That's already like a crazy thing for any tribal woman at that time. How would they be okay with that? How would they say, yes, go meet your husband over there?
As you can see, our expert is stunned by Muhammad Khan's actions and had no answer to give. Another interesting question people may have is, do we know how he was treated?
And at that time, think about it, man, these people were alive when slavery was a thing here. These people were alive when science used to teach that white people are superior to other people. Yeah. Scientifically, their brains are bigger. So now we're hearing what other people think about him. Imagine your coworkers or the guy in the store who you go and say, hey, what's up, right? Like, you're like, man, I don't want to talk to this guy too long. That's the guy who we're getting reports from on how this Muhammad Khan was.
And what did they think about him? Like, what did all these people think of him?
It's very interesting. There's very different things. For the most part, they would say, yeah, we could tell he's not from here. We could tell. Some say that he wasn't right in the head. Some say that, not a lot. So imagine if your life or my life.
Not right in the head is probably because he's completely different. Maybe he He got recruited because he got drunk, right? Well, maybe when he was in the military, he realized, hey, getting drunk got me into this situation. So when it came time to drink, I'm not going to do that. When it came time to loot and all that stuff, maybe he didn't. Maybe he was different or weird because he just didn't abide by that same code of what those guys did.
The only documentation is the one time you go and speak to, let's say, a police officer or whatever, you're only going to tell them relevant stuff, right? You're not going to tell them how religious or irreligious you are or what you think about Islam, right? You're just going to go, if you need your pension or if you're at the DMV and you need your license, you're just going to tell them the bare stuff that you need to tell them to get your stuff out.
That's right.
Muhammad Khan probably didn't go there thinking, oh my God, 150 years later, people are going to be reading my stuff. I got to make sure I present myself in this amazing manner. That's not what he was thinking, right? He probably just said, I need to do, what the hell is that guy doing, man? Right.
It was around this time we were pretty close to the Spotsylvania battle site. We would have gotten there quicker had Rahim Shah not taken so long in putting his surma on, and if I hadn't missed this right turn, which meant I had to use some random guy's property to make a U-turn.
Get the hell off my property! What the hell are you doing, boy?
Bang, bang. Oh, wait, right here.
Maybe he'll know if Muhammad Khan visited here or not.
Muhammad Khan visited here before him and his family.
If you haven't entered a battleground before, well, let's just say the vibe hits different.
I've been to 3. And the very first one I ever went to was Gettysburg. Yeah. I was in the Union Fishhook, which was day 3. Day 2, day 3, but day 3 specifically, the main assault from Robert E. Lee going over this. It's a slow incline going up to the Union side, and it's a wide open field. It's about a mile distance, whatever that is in kilometers. It would be, there you go. And there's a tree line and then the Union Fishhook. And I just stood there. And I'm getting like oddly emotional. Wow. I just stood there and I looked over that field, and you can just imagine that tens of thousands of people died there. And then I started to walk the field. Wow. That was this month. That was February this month, 8 years ago. Wow, I don't know why it's hitting me like this. Yeah. Then the next one I went to was Shiloh, and I drove through that. I only gave myself a couple of hours because I had to be across the state of Tennessee in my hotel because the next morning I was going into Chickamauga. Shiloh battlefield I wanted to go to because that was Grant's, one of his first kind of major battles, not sieging of a fort or something like that. And then Chickamauga, there were 2 battles there, but I went because the second battle was the first battle for Grant being leader of all Union forces. And that one hit too. That was the first battlefield in the U.S. That I know of that placed monuments, and the Confederates and the Union soldiers came together and met, and they were like, yeah, this group was stationed here, and then they walked it and they designated it based off of their own maps and all kinds of stuff, and they designated where certain groups were, certain states were, and when you drive through there and you look at all the statues and the battle markers and everything, those are there in place because the people who fought there designated, yes, our people fought here. And it wasn't just like it was one person from the Union and one person from the Confederacy. You're talking hundreds of people showed up. And some of the people, it was the first time they'd ever gotten, this was in the 1880s. Some of the people, it was the first time that they'd kind of ever met. And they all, the Union and Confederates, they all shook hands and just, they all got along. There was no fighting. They were walking through, talking about each other, talking about friends that they had lost at that battle. It was, I would say it was probably extremely therapeutic, because there's no one else you're going to be able to talk to that would understand what you've been through than somebody who fought next to you or fought against you. And they all worked together to place the monuments at the proper places on that battlefield. It's so when you go through, you realize all these all these markers were legitimately, that ground was desecrated. Desecrated? It's not even the word I'm trying to... The ground was marked, and the statues were put there because that's where the soldiers designated. That's the word I'm thinking of. They designated that that's where it was.
قد أشرقت شمس
Now don't get fooled by the cameras. It was pretty dark by the time we got here.
This is the battle where Muhammad Khan picked up the injury that he would then be visiting the pension officer for, saying that this is where I got injured, please give me my pension. Now what we know from his account, imagine a sharpshooter is going into the woods, all right, and while going, he said someone attacked me, one of the rebels attacked me, and he, for whatever reason, smashed his face with the butt of the rifle. So the end of the rifle he smashes, and he said as soon as he smashed me, I turned towards him and shot him and killed him.
Wow.
Pathan, man, you know, Pathan power, man. He was representing, you know, us all in this area.
So this did happen, just in another battle. Over here, he got shot in the hand.
We know Muhammad Khan had long hair, long black hair. That was his description. But he was Pathan, man. He was Pashtun, so his facial features would probably still be light, but people would think he's Native American, American Indian. That's what they would describe him as. Maybe he was something like you. Maybe he was close to my color.
like you because you got long hair.
That's true, maybe, but I don't know, right? But I wouldn't be put into the white battalion for sure, right?
No.
They'd probably put me in the Mexican. Just take it all in, you know, like what happened here, all those people that were killed here, and we had our one boy that we know. And another interesting thing to think about, right? You know, we work in corporate America. We think about our standards of how it feels like to work as a minority in these places. But think about his experience, especially at that time. Slavery was still a thing. Racial hierarchy, all of those things were still a concept. And he would have been here probably definitely the only guy from that part of the world. The only Muslim. Probably. You know, corporate America, someone doesn't like us, a big deal. You go home, you don't have to care. Well, unless you're up for promotion, that's a separate problem. But, you know, over here, your life depends on how much other people like you.
Well, that was fun, but we had to hit the road again and make our way to Muhammad Khan's grave, which happened to be 5.5 to 6 hours away. Now, by this point, we realized that we overextended how long you can peacefully keep a Pakistani and an Afghan in a car together. We have some pretty civilized interactions. Rahim Shah himself was about to rip the steering wheel out any minute. So to keep the peace, we brought a brother from a neutralish state.
The Bangladesh Tigers have knocked the England Lions out of the World Cup.
What the hell's going on? You know what you're here for, right? Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, we grabbed like the tallest Bengali we knew. Now, we've saved one lingering question for the end. How much of a role did Islam play in Khan's life? For that, we go back to his pension file. Khan wanted an increase in his pension because he suffered from rheumatism, which Khan said happened due to injuries from the Civil War. Khan kept getting his pension claim rejected though, because 2 eyewitnesses told the pension officers that Khan confessed to them that he actually had syphilis, which meant he was out having lots of haram fun. And that was causing his rheumatism. Due to this, the pension office kept rejecting Khan's claim until eventually Congress approved Khan's pension. So we can come to 2 conclusions. Either Khan actually conned all his other doctors and all of Congress, or these 2 guys you see highlighted are liars. For Muhammad Khan's sake, we'll stick with the latter.
Yeah, gotta believe that they're liars, and they're only lying because he wasn't a white guy.
So send some lanat on these 2 people for accusing our guy of sleeping around. And look, sorry for the bland editing, especially since I've spoiled you with PBS level editing, but none of what I said was covered in their video, so I had to stick with the editing skills of our good-for-nothing editor. Honestly, man, look how lazy this is. This guy really sucks. Thinking of firing him.
Bro, aren't you the editor?
Now, coming back to the liquor, we see in several instances through Khan's own admission and through others that he would drink.
To give the guy an excuse. We're here to give excuses for the guy. He was suffering from rheumatoid arthritis, at least from what his doctors said. He was in extreme pain. At that time, alcohol was the best painkiller. Probably, this was the best thing the guy had. And he was doing it for medical purposes, like,
right?
That could be a thing, right? I mean, or he could be a drunkard. We don't know.
Do you think you can?
You're also. The Civil War was brutal. I'm not. You know, if it's against the religion to drink, I understand that, but when you're in a situation where you may not have many friends because of your skin color, but you're seeing a lot of these people die. You're killing people. There could be something about a release, a mental release that at that time only came through alcohol. I'm not excusing it, but at the same time, I wasn't in it. So I can't tell you what I would and wouldn't do. And if I were a Muslim and I knew drinking was bad, but I'm in this situation where I've got to, what are you going to do? You're going to get a therapist? There was no therapy back then. You're going to talk to somebody who isn't really wanting to have a conversation with you because of your skin color? The only thing that didn't care about your skin color was alcohol. And if I'm in that situation, what's to say that I'm not doing that? Not excusing it, but I'm just saying that sometimes that's your only release.
You can actually use that as an excuse when Allah questions you. You said about giving people excuses and the benefit of the doubt, but when you see something that is very apparent, like, you have to see it as it is, right? So I think there are various other ways to kind of dull the pain. There's like opioids. Opioids is definitely a better alternative to alcohol. Your audience may be like, oh, like, what's this guy talking about? He's excusing.
But that's also if opioids were available.
he's excusing the haram and like, I don't know.
No, man,
you know what I mean?
It's not about excusing the haram. We just don't know the guy. If we knew someone here in this society right now, in this day and age, that's a whole separate argument.
Why?
Right? Because we know their conditions. We are going through the same conditions. I guess what I would say is we just don't know their scenario. We don't know what the healthcare was like at that time. We don't know what we would have done with that much pain when alcohol was the easiest thing to get.
Yeah.
Well, just for more information, further witnesses later on have described Muhammad Khan as a good, sober man. So perhaps he quit?
Why are we giving him all of these excuses? Right? He kind of fits the profile of someone who just came here, forgot everything about himself, and got lost. But this is actually one of the main reasons why I'm giving Muhammad Khan so many excuses. But this one mention is the reason I'm gonna be defending him the whole time. And that is...
Why hear it from me when PBS already covered it?
That one of them says he used to come into my store and I would read to him what he called the Mohammedan Bible, or what they call the Quran, but misspelled in the document, spelled with an H. There's the key right there. It's very clear what his faith was.
This is not Muhammad Khan saying, I did this. This is a testimony from a non-Muslim. So clearly, he still had some Islam in him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't abandon, give it all up and say, keep this away from me. Even people in America today, with the Muslim community, with all of their support and the internet, would not have the balls to go to a non-Muslim and say, hey, why don't you come listen to the Quran?
I was just gonna say that.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So if someone did that at that time,
Yeah.
in that situation,
At a place where he had no support, no understanding of the culture, nothing of that sort.
that is something commendable. It may not have brought any influence on the guy he said it to.
Yeah, the guy he read the Quran to was actually the guy claiming he had syphilis.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw it and
Yeah.
saw the devotion. That could easily elevate his ranks, man, just from that little effort that he did.
Absolutely.
You know, at that time, like, for us to do it right now is very easy. You can go to Wawa and say, hey, you know, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
At that time, that would have been, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
MashaAllah, brother!
Bro, you have so many people today, right? Like,
They're shy to
express
their beliefs. Yeah.
express their beliefs, or I don't really believe that. Oh yeah, you know, yeah, I'm Muslim, but I'm not really like that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know where the conversation was going, but we did finally reach the cemetery. We did run into a slight problem though. The cemetery is huge, and there was no way we could find the one grave in this manner. But then, thanks to Rahim Shah's navigation skills, we discovered we were in the wrong cemetery this whole time. This is Cypress Hill Cemetery. Muhammad Khan is in Cypress National Hill Cemetery. I know. So we finally made it and began searching for Khan's grave. Inshallah, we're gonna go to his grave, make dua for him. The sad thing to remember is that he wasn't actually buried under his Muslim name, Muhammad Khan. He was buried under the name Amahai John. But alhamdulillah, thanks to the sister at PBS, we know exactly what the grave number is. So we're gonna go inshallah find it and make dua for him. Here we were after hours of travel, inching closer to his grave. It felt like I'm about to meet a long lost brother or an ancestor. It was emotional, imagining how barely any Muslims may have visited his grave and made dua for him, not even knowing he was here, buried under the name John, without even being given a proper janazah. And then we found him. You know, I want us to take in this moment that we're here standing in front of our brother. He was not given a proper janazah, most likely. They wouldn't have even known he was Muslim. I mean, they didn't even dignify him with his real name. They ended up giving him a false name. And this is something for us to think about, that when we have no community, when we have no people, this is what may become of us when people forget who we are, what our values are, and what we stand for. So I don't know if there was anyone to make dua for him when he died and he was buried here on his own, but inshallah, let us
make dua for him here.
We read the dua the Prophet ﷺ would recite when entering a graveyard, even though I wasn't sure if it applies in this scenario or only in a Muslim graveyard. But then we made a dua for our departed brother.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala elevate his ranks in Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our brother, hopefully through our duas, through the duas of the community. May this be a sadqa jariyah for him. We don't know of his progeny. We don't know what has happened. However, may the community right now, may the Muslim community watching this make dua for him and grant him a higher status and alleviate any punishments. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make his time easy in the qabr, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use that one opportunity we saw, that one documented testimony we heard where he shared the Quran with whatever means he had. He still had the spirit of Islam in him. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use that as a means to elevate his ranks. Ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use his story and use that moment as a sadqa jariyah to inspire other Muslims today and continue that ongoing accumulation of good deeds. Ameen. So a final departing thing to think about. We've seen our brother buried here amongst a sea of other graves, probably all non-Muslim. It does beg the question, why did he come here? What was the purpose? Given especially that it's almost a guarantee your progeny is going to get lost here.
In the 1800s, today is a very different story.
This is something we will probably never know. And quite frankly, yes, we made dua for him and we should continue making dua for him. But your actions have consequences. That is also something to think about. Because he came here voluntarily off his own will, from what we know. However, there were other people who were brought here forcefully. Muslims, Muslim scholars who were brought here against their will and forced to live here and forced to convert to Christianity in much tougher conditions. And inshallah next week, we're gonna go see a legend.
We did go see him, but you'll have to wait longer than a week for the video.
O Lord of the world, full of mercy and grace, make me one of those who will see your blessed face. Purify me and guide me, make me pleasing to you. Let me live, let me die in remembrance of you.
To be fair, any relatives that I had that would have been here in the died in the 1890s, I don't know where they are. Never visited them. No idea. So if something like this existed with a member of my family, I would never know. It would be nice if they had something where they could reach out to a member of the family. Yeah, I don't know. And I mean, if they could reach, like if the cemetery had something where you could trace it, but I have no idea how you would even go about figuring that out. Somebody out there would know. All right, this is good. This is good. I like that. I hope you enjoyed. I did. And until next time, have a good day. Have a good night.